David Eagle, the radio experience.
Hey, it's the 82nd Southside podcast. My name's David Eagle. Welcome to it. Where the heck have you been? You come in with a nonchalant introduction like that? How dare you? You're a week late, for goodness sake. I do apologise. Yes, if you tuned in last week, you can't really say tuned in, can you, when it comes to podcasts? What's the technical expression? Logged in? Podded out? Podded on? Podded out. I like podded out. That sounds good. Pod out, man. Just pod out. Yeah, it's good. Whatever the technical expression is, if you logged on last week and found that the Southside podcast, the 82nd Southside podcast, which was meant to be released last week, wasn't, which you would have done because it wasn't, then I apologise for that. I'll explain myself very shortly, but for the rest of you, you probably didn't even notice, did you? There's so many podcasts around, you just got so much choice now, and to be honest, most of you probably just thought, yeah, well, maybe he's finally realised and he's given up. I do feel very responsible. I mean, there's been a lot of hardship going on in the news, you know, the credit crunch. I don't know if you're aware, there's a credit crunch going on. Yeah, credit is being crunched left, right and centre. We've got people talking about global warming all of a sudden. Don't know where that came from. There's been protests and there's been violence and all sorts of things going on in the news. And, of course, Jade Goody died. And we should probably stop the music to talk about this. In fact, that's my reason. That's the reason that last week's Southside podcast wasn't released, because Jade Goody died. And I think it would have been terrible. As a sign of respect, we pulled the Southside podcast, because we couldn't have anybody being happy last week. So that's the reason we didn't have a Southside podcast. Brilliant. I'm sure Jade Goody won't mind that we used her death as an excuse for not releasing the Southside podcast. So that's the reason. Right, okay. The real reason, incidentally... What, you mean that wasn't the real reason? No, believe it or not, that wasn't the real reason. The real reason was because we seem to have a lot of problems with our modem. Our internet connection's gone all sorts. It's gone weird. It works now and again, but it sporadically works. And so I couldn't upload last week's Southside podcast, and I spent that long trying to fix the internet problem that it got to about the Saturday, and I hadn't actually even got a Southside podcast to upload. Then I was out all the weekend. When it comes to weekends, I try and get away from computers as much as possible, because otherwise I end up becoming brain dead and moronic. And as I say, I couldn't have possibly done anything over the weekend anyway, because we were all in mourning over Jay Goody's death, so I was slightly annoyed that it didn't get much media attention. We obviously did our bit here on Southside by not broadcasting anything, but I was just slightly annoyed. I'm going to come on out here. I was very annoyed that the BBC and the other media companies just didn't seem to care about Jade and just gave it absolutely no coverage whatsoever. I think that's an absolute disgrace. So obviously I was very upset about that, so I couldn't release a Southside podcast. So then what happened was it got to Monday and things just happened, for goodness sake. I think we had workmen round and they were banging and hammering away, and it didn't happen, alright? I'm sorry. Oh, I should have just said the dog ate the podcast. That would have been much better an excuse than that feeble one. Never mind. So this week's Southside podcast will probably be uploaded courtesy of next door's internet connection. Unfortunately, they don't know about this. Although if I shout that out, and I think I've got the window open, if I shout that out too loud, they actually will know about it. Or if they listen to the Southside podcast, they'll know about it. But I've been using their internet connection now and again just so I can actually have some internet. Because at first I was a little bit worried. I thought maybe the whole of the internet's gone. Imagine if that happened. One day you just wake up and the whole of the internet's just gone. Where's it gone? No one knows. So I've been using Nextdoor's internet connection, which admittedly isn't the most noble thing to be doing. But in my defence, I didn't actually do it on my own volition. What actually happened was our wireless router got so weak and the signal got so rubbish that it automatically connected to Nextdoor's wireless, which is unsecure. They haven't password protected their wireless like we have, and so it automatically just connects to Nextdoor. So I didn't realise. I assumed it was our internet connection, and then it wasn't. I realised it was Nextdoor's, and I thought, well, they don't seem to mind. They're getting on with their lives. So I've not been using it too much, but I've been using it now and again just to send an email or something like that. One thing that I found out was at about 12 o'clock when they all go to bed, they turn it off. They turn the wireless off. And you can tell, because what you can hear is they turn all the electric off in the house, you know, all the various plugs. And they start with downstairs, and I think their wireless must be upstairs. So they start with downstairs, and you just hear click. You think, oh dear, that's the first plug gone off. I've got about a minute before she gets round to switching off the plugs at the top of the stairs. Then I hear another click and I think, right, I've got to send this email quickly. So I'm writing it and I'm going, thank you for your last email. This is just a quick email to say. Then I hear click from next door. She's turned off another connection because you can hear it all through the walls. Click. Only 3 more to go. Right, okay, I've just got to quickly send this email, but I know that in the next 20-30 seconds, it's going to be going. So now I'm under pressure, and when you're under pressure, it's really difficult to think about what you're writing because you're too busy concentrating on the clicking of the plugs going off. Click. Oh my goodness, that took me by surprise. She's quicker than I thought, for goodness sake. She's athletic. Thank you very much for your response. This is just a quick email to say that I will not be attending the Sony Awards this year because I don't believe in that kind of thing. Click! Damn, there's only 2 more to go now. I know you really want to give me this award because you think I'm a radio genius, but unfortunately I can't attend because I do not believe in accolades. Click! No, there's only 1 more to go. I need to send this email quickly. Thank you again. Kind regards. Click! And I'm like, no, it's gone! And the internet's gone. Oh, so now I've got wise. What I do is I hear the first click, and I think, right, okay, that leaves me with about a minute now, and I'm sending this email, and so I'm writing it, and I'm writing it, then I hear click, and I don't get there in time, and I think I'm not going to get enough time here. So what ends up happening is she gets to the 5th thing, and she clicks, and I think there's only 1 more to go, and the wireless is going off. I need to make a distraction. I've got a distractor, so I'll quickly run for the phone. And I'll dial her number. I'll obviously withhold my number. And then the phone will ring. And she instinctively, you know what it's like when the phone rings, you don't think, I'll just finish that and then I'll go and answer the phone. You think, phone! And she'll leave the other wireless internet connection. So it'll just give me enough time. So she answers the phone, I quickly hang up. You can hear her going, for goodness sake, these people ringing at this time of night, for goodness. And you can hear her traipsing up the stairs. If I'm really lucky, she'll forget to turn the internet off. And it's on all night. Oh yes! Then we can start having fun downloading the porn off the internet. And they'll get into trouble for it. It's absolutely brilliant. Oh, the drama, the tension of that story there.
David Eagle, the radio experience.